Good morning. Welcome to our daily devotion. It is Monday, January 11th. I trust you had a good weekend. My brother, Leo, who is just got months to live, was able to move in with us yesterday. So he will be staying with us now until hopefully we're able to take care of him. Good morning, Marcy. Good morning, Serena. Serena, you know what I'm talking about. You know what it's like to take care of somebody. Marcy, I'm sure you do too. So we have no idea what's ahead of us, but we're going to do it. We're in Matthew chapter 5. Morning, Roz. Morning, Sandy. Thank you, Roz. Again, they made a comment again about your gift yesterday. I think we've eaten up all the fruit ones already. Good morning, Sandy. Or Sandy. I'm not Sandy, Sandy. Let me read it. Matthew 5:38. Jesus says, "You have heard that it was said, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. But I tell you, do not resist an evil person. If someone strikes you on the right cheek, turn him the other cheek also. And if someone wants to sue you and take your tunic, let him have your cloak as well. If someone forces you to go 1 mile, go with him 2 miles. Give to the one who asks you. Do not turn away from the one who wants to borrow from you." Now, I have heard people all my life talk about what's in the Bible and what's not in the Bible. And I've heard so many people when that comes up say, well, that's not even in the Bible. I don't know why people quote that. That's not even in the Bible, where it says an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But Jesus says that. And let me just turn to the verses in the Old Testament and the law where it points out to this, because everything Jesus is talking about now is he's changing the law, adding to it. It says in Exodus 21:23 through 25, it says this: "But if there is serious injury, you are to take life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, bruise for bruise." Right here in Exodus. And then in Leviticus 24:19 through 21, God says this: "If anyone injures his neighbor, whatever he has done must be done to him. Fracture for fracture, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. As he has injured the other, so he is to be injured." And then finally in Deuteronomy 19:21, it says, "Show no pity. Life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. Show no pity." It was like serious. Whatever someone does to you, you're to do the exact same thing. So you'd ask yourself, well, why would they have this in the law? Well, it tells us here in Deuteronomy 19. It says, "If a malicious witness takes the stand to accuse a person of a crime, the 2 men involved in the dispute must stand in the presence of the Lord before the priests and judges who are in office at this time. The judges must make a thorough investigation. If the witness proves to be a liar, giving false testimony against his brother, then do to him as he intended to do to his brother. You must purge the evil from among you. The rest of the people will hear of this and be afraid and never again do such an evil thing among you." It was God literally set the law up like that so that it would literally scare people to where they wouldn't do it. Now here comes Jesus and changes everything, changes the law. It says, "You've heard it said an eye for an eye, but I'm going to tell you to do the opposite now." The exact opposite. It was the same thing he did earlier when we talked about murder, about adultery, about divorce, about oaths. He's teaching us to do the opposite. So if someone were to do great harm to you or a loved one, our immediate reaction is to get even, to get revenge. How many times has this happened to you where you get cut off on the freeway? And don't tell me you don't, because it still gets under my skin. Someone cuts me off on the freeway, and the immediate reaction is to speed up and do the same thing to them. Good morning, Michelle. Morning, Kelly. Morning, Veronica. It's like a natural reaction. If someone curses you, immediate reaction is to curse back at them. It's just a human nature to do that. And Jesus is coming along and saying, no, don't do that. don't resist an evil person. Don't do what they're doing. Do the opposite. Do the opposite of what that person is doing. If they're trying to harm you, help them. If they curse you, say something nice to them. If they cut you off the freeway, give them more space. Hard to do, isn't it? Really hard to do. Only someone really strong in their faith could possibly do that. If someone comes up to you and literally curses you to your face, and you turn around and say something nice back to them, who's able to do that? Only someone that is strong in their faith is capable of doing that. Now, imagine if you saw that. If you saw someone cursing someone out, and that person turning around and saying something nice to them, what would you think? What would you think of that person? I know my immediate reaction would be, oh, it's got to be a Christian. Got to be a Christian. No, you couldn't do that if the Spirit of God weren't in you. I remember before I was a Christian, gosh, if someone cursed at me, they were getting it right back. They were getting it right back. If someone cut me off in the freeway, they better watch out, because I didn't know the Lord yet. Now as I grow in my faith, I don't react the same way. I don't. Now it's still, when someone cuts me off, it's still, your immediate reaction is you do something, but then you calm yourself down and say, oh, wait a minute. Oh, just let it go. Let it go. That's maturity. That's growing in your faith. And this is what Jesus is telling us to do. Don't stop growing. Don't stop growing in your faith until you are able to do that. Don't stop growing in your faith until you are able to resist evil. Don't stop growing in your faith until you are able to not seek revenge. Don't stop growing in your faith until you can return evil with good. Morning, Sharon. Morning, Will. Morning, Ambrosia. Morning, Brian. Morning, Kim. How do you do that? How do you do that? What you're doing right now. You are growing in your faith right now. Remember, I quote Romans 10:17 to you all the time. Faith comes from hearing God's words, hearing Jesus' words. Your faith is growing right now. You keep on growing, and you keep on growing in your faith, and you're able to start doing those things. This is what Jesus desires of us. That's why Jesus says, you've heard in the past about what they tell you to do, but don't be like that anymore. Now I'm going to give you a new way of living. I'm going to give you a new way of living. I want you to follow my example and treat evil with good. And when you're able to do that, now you are Christ-like. Now you are more like Jesus. And we're capable of doing this. We are capable. God has given us all the tools to do it. First of all, he's given us his Holy Spirit, which convicts us of sin. He's given us his word, which causes us to grow in our faith. He's given us numerous channels to grow in our faith, especially now with social media. You can be one. Yesterday, Sunday, before I did Collision, my twin sister is Catholic, and so we found a mass on Channel 6, a live mass where she was able to watch the mass on TV, and it was kind of cool because everything was close up. I mean, a lot of times you go to. I remember I used to take my mom to Holy Family Church, and it was hard to hear what the priest was even saying, and some of them have accents, which makes it even a little harder. And you were able to hear everything the priest said. You saw everything that he did close up. It was a great experience. They weren't able to receive communion like they do when they go to church, but we have plenty of avenues now to grow in our faith. Now, I'm not saying all TV preachers are help you to grow in your faith. Some of them are a little materialistic, but there's channels, there's ways to grow in our faith. So, are you taking advantage of that? Are you I know you are right now. You're Anna, Sharon. You're watching this video. You're taking advantage of what God has given us to help us to grow in our faith. And when you grow in your faith, we're sooner or later you're able to do the things that Jesus tells you to do. Took me a long time to. I've shared with you before how long it took me to learn how to give monetarily. I had to hear a lot of sermons on that, before I finally realized that this was something that God wanted me to do. If I'd have never gone to church, if I'd have never heard those sermons, I would have never learned how to give. So we learn how to do these things by hearing His word. So with that said, let's help others. Let's help others grow in their faith. It was interesting. My son called me the other day, and he said, "Dad," he said, "why do you think people don't share the videos? You ask them to share all the time, and they don't do it. Do you think they're ashamed of it to share with their friends?" And I told myself, I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know why some people choose not to share if they don't get that much from it, okay. But if they're growing as a result of hearing these videos, why would you not want your family and friends to grow? When I see something on a good joke, a good story on Facebook, I share it so that my friends and family can have a laugh along with me. So it's the same thing with something that's serious. So I really ask that you would join with others in sharing these videos so we can get the word out, so others can grow in their faith to where they can start doing the things that Jesus is asking us to do. Don't ever stop growing in your faith. I'm 75 years old. I've been a Christian for a long time now, for almost 50 years, and I am still learning things. I am still growing in my faith. We will never, ever stop growing in our faith, not until we see the Lord face to face. So let's get the word out to as many as we possibly can, okay? God bless you all. Have a great day. Tonight now is our special message. So I hope many of you will join us tonight at 7 o'clock. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow again at 8 o'clock for our daily devotion. God bless you all. Have a great day.